Yeah, if you want to start, go for it.
Okay, well, I'll start. Hello, everyone. I'm Coach Emily. So if you haven't seen me before, I coach early mornings, 5 and 6 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm also the nutrition coach here. I started doing that last fall, so fall of 2023. I'll just give you a little spiel about my background really quick. I've been a personal trainer for 12 years now, and with that comes a lot of experience in different avenues of fitness and sports. And so one of the things that I've done personally, and also I have clients that I train to do, is bodybuilding competitions. So, you know, through that experience, I've learned a lot about nutrition, how to cut, how to bulk, how to cater your nutrition based around your fitness goals. So, you know, maybe you just want to get in better shape or more endurance or whatever. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is kind of what everybody's fitness goal is. I think most people want to just get better shape, lose weight, and build muscle, right? So that's probably what most of you are doing here. Some people want to maintain, some people want to put on weight. So a lot of times there's just a little bit different goals depending on the individual. But let's really quick just go around, everybody introduce yourself, and just let me know what your goal is for this upcoming challenge. Anna, do you want to start?
Sure. I'm Anna, and my goal, I'm really enjoying CrossFit. It's made me stronger for running, just to get back to running. Awesome, back in running shape.
Zach, I've been pretty inactive the last 4 or 5 years, and just started CrossFit 3 weeks ago.
Woo.
So yeah, pretty much lose weight and just overall better fitness.
Awesome. Good.
Allie, I'm not doing the challenge, but I live with him, so I want to dial in nutrition stuff and make sure we have good things to eat and not Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Yeah, it's good to be on the same page.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
I'm Lana. My goal is to build endurance and also lose maybe 5-7 pounds and maybe 5 pounds, just to be realistic. Have a better portion controls, kind of to be more accountable to my food.
Okay,
That I eat.
good.
I'm Yvonne, and it's to lose a little more weight and then start building up some muscle, get more toned.
Awesome. Good to see you.
Sarah, lose some weight and then build more muscle, trying to prep for having a baby.
Okay, good. Eric, I'm gonna skip you.
I'm Eric. I was a coach here for about 10 years. So I don't know, 9 years? I don't remember how long it was. I kind of changed my career and put on a whole bunch of weight, and then kind of got into some unhealthy habits. So I'm trying to get back in here to look good again, feel good again.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Awesome.
Bharat, lose fat and get stronger.
All right, good.
So Rich, mostly just to maintain, and
Okay.
wouldn't mind if I got stronger.
Good, good.
John, brand new to the whole deal, so all the above.
Okay, good. That's awesome. Yeah, so everybody, a little bit different goals, but pretty much the same thing. So I'm gonna try and give you guys just the basic information. You know, if anybody after this wants to reach out to me, you can hire me and I will help you with your individual goals more. But if you think that you can navigate it on your own, I'm gonna try and give you the tools to do that. The challenge starts Monday, and then how long is it? 2 weeks or 2 months?
2 months, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about where you start. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably like, I don't even know how to get started. Where do I go up or down from here? So one thing that is going to be super helpful for everyone is to have some kind of tracker. I use MyFitnessPal. I have my clients use MyFitnessPal. It's the only one I'm really familiar with, but I know there's other ones out there. There's other tracker apps. How many of you have MyFitnessPal already on your phone? Yeah? And just so you know, hello. You can do the free version. I've tried both, and I think pretty much you can get around having to pay for the service if you don't mind doing a little extra legwork, entering in your food and stuff. So that's gonna be your best friend as far as tracking your nutrition, your goals, and keeping you accountable. Okay, so I like to use my FitnessPal. I set up in my FitnessPal, we can go over that a little bit more at the end, but my caloric goal and my macros, and when you enter in your food for each meal, you can go in and check and see where you're at so that you can change. So let's start with like basic nutrition. So how many of you guys know what macros are? Everyone familiar with the macros? Yeah, pretty much? No? Okay. So macros are your three main macronutrients. Okay, it's gonna be carbs, protein, and fat. All right, you need these to survive. You need micronutrients too to survive, but these are like the main ones that your food is comprised of. Carbs are 4 calories per gram. Protein's 4 calories per gram. That's weight, right? And fat is 9 calories per gram. And that's why this one is super easy to go way over, right? Packs a lot of energy in just 1 gram.
That's why those Reese's peanut butter cups got so many calories.
Exactly. So, you know, as a whole, that's gonna comprise the majority of your diet. So, there's a way to kind of adjust these to meet your goal. Ultimately, what's gonna matter the most is gonna be your total calories, right? So you can have all your macros on point where they need to be, but if you're 1,000 calories over, you're not gonna lose weight, right? So what I always tell everybody is first focus on this, that's the most important, and then this will be your next step to meeting your goals. So one thing I have everyone do when we first start is to track your calories using your app. So most people, does anybody have any idea how many calories they eat in a day? Probably no clue? Yeah? Kind of. You don't have to tell me how many, but I'm just saying, you know, a lot of us, we think we know, and then when we go to track, we are either way underestimating, which is usually the case, or way overestimating, right? So you might think, oh, I'm probably at 2,000 calories a day, and you could be upwards of almost 3,000, because it adds up really quickly, and one of the ways it adds up really quickly is this, right? Sneaky, fat's in a lot of stuff. So I'm not gonna harp on fat or say anything bad about fat, it's good, it's necessary. But that's when you wanna start looking into your macros too and see where you're at, because that's gonna help you ultimately get your total calories.
Question.
Yeah.
So probably a dumb one, but
no.
The per gram, right? Like, is that per gram of your body weight or
per gram you're eating?
If you're eating 1 gram, you are getting. If you're eating 1
1 gram of
fat,
carbs
you are
is
getting
4
9
calories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, that's not a dumb question. That's it. That's good.
One, so sorry, I want to add in there. So like say like 4 ounces of chicken
Right.
would be about 20 grams of protein. 20 times 4 would be how many calories for that chicken.
That's
so
right. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But if you have a tracker, you don't have to do the math.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So one thing you want to do starting off, find out your calories. That way you know what to take away, right? If you don't know where to start, or if you don't know where you're at, you don't really know where to start, right? Another thing is everyone planning, or if you weren't planning, maybe do the
In-body.
In-body, thank you, like the scanner. That will give you your statistics like your body fat, how much muscle mass, bone density, blah, 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 but it'll also tell you your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. And that is basal metabolic. Basically what your body needs to function, digestion, breathing, maintaining your muscle mass, all of that. So I'll give you an example. Say it's 1700, okay? So that's gonna keep your metabolism going, right? But you might be eating 2,500 calories a day, right? This is what you need to survive. You might be eating this and you might only be burning 2,000, right? So this little difference here is gonna be what's putting you over on your weight gain, right? So this will just kind of give you a clue of what you pretty much need to be eating, right? When you track, you're gonna find out, okay, this is what I need, this is what I'm eating, but I really only need about this many calories. So what I tell people to do is track so they can find out this number, which is what you are currently eating, right? And then from there, you're gonna start subtracting your daily calories. I don't like to do huge subtractions, so I wouldn't recommend dropping your calories 500 calories overnight. It's gonna be really huge on your energy levels. So what I like to tell people is you can use the app to give you a recommendation based on your weight loss goal, or you can just try and be about 200 calories. I'm giving you an example here, less per day, right? That's gonna add up over the course of a week. So over the course of a week, what is that, 14? 1,400 calories deficit, then plus any exercise you're doing, additional exercise is gonna add more calorie burn, more calorie deficit, right? So that's how you start with your weight loss. So first you need to make sure you're tracking your calories, see what your approximate average caloric intake is, right? And then you're gonna subtract from there. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions with that? No? Okay. So if you're gonna dive into that further, once you've set up your calorie goal, so let's say it's 2,000 calories a day is your new goal. Okay, you're gonna track that. The next thing you wanna try and do is track your macros. So you're gonna set up your macro goals. You can individualize this. The one I recommend for my clients is 40% carbs, 40% protein, and only 20% fat. These two numbers you can play around with a little bit more and maybe do like a 30-30. Okay. What do you guys do 50, 30, 20?
Me carry or?
Yeah.
It's more like 40, 30, 30, 40, 30, 20, yeah.
Okay, because you guys are still doing zone diet?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like most people find it easier to start with this because this is the really hard one. This is the really hard one to get down because it's really easy to go over your fat intake because it's in, if you add oil to your pan, if you, like nut butters, cheeses, a lot of things that we think are good protein sources actually have a lot of fat in it too. Sausage, bacon, all those things are mostly fat. They have a little bit of protein in them, but it's really gonna add up your fat a lot quickly. So that's also a really good reason why you wanna track because it's kind of an education for you to find out more about your food that you're eating and the content, right? So let's talk about the macronutrients really quick. Carbs. Does anybody know why we need carbs? Main reason we would need carbs? Energy. Yeah, exactly. Yes, there's low carb diets out there. Do they work? Yes and no. For CrossFit, not ideal because it requires so much fuel for the high intensity that you're doing in CrossFit. So, carbs are definitely important for that reason. Protein is for
muscle gain.
Muscle. Yeah, so that's like the building block of muscle. So that's super important. And then fat, you need fat for brain function and cellular function and all that stuff. So that's why these are all like your macronutrients, because they're super important. So this 40%, 40%, 20, the reason why I recommend it to my clients, it's a good way to help you build muscle mass and also get lean at the same time, which is hard to do unless you're brand new and you've never done any kind of exercise or dieting before. This will probably be super easy for a lot of those people to lose weight. If you've been in the game for a while, it's kind of hard to change your body composition, right? Any questions so far on that? No? Okay. Alex, do you have anything you want to add? Really?
I don't yet, but I definitely we want to hear from you guys. And so like any questions about this, anything that like you're like struggling with, definitely pipe in. Yeah.
Then I have one question. So the thing is, I'm a vegetarian.
Okay.
And most of my food is like Indian dishes.
Okay.
I'm not sure like that like any application is there who can identify, okay, for this Indian dish these are the calories, or like this is how much protein or like a fat intake that you are having. So that's why it is very hard for me to keep track of the food.
MyFitnessPal does that. So
Okay.
let's move on to talking about the app really quick, because that's what I said, the tool that's going to help everybody the most.
One question. So
Yeah.
these percentages would they be would they differ based on like the body mass, that once you do an in-body scan, right, and you find out what your BMR is, and also with like you know how many calories you need to burn, and you know the amount of muscle and the amount of fat you have, would the percentage of these macros change based on that?
Based off of your BMR?
Yeah, based off my BMR and my other things that you find out from that. Right?
Yeah, so if you have an extremely, your caloric goal is probably going to change more than anything.
Okay.
So if you're really, really lean and have really, really low body fat and you're wanting to put on some mass, then you're going to want to bump your calories up, and you're probably going to want to bump fat up too. But I mean, all of these are important, and ultimately the more calories you have, the more, it's going to help you with that weight gain. But really it comes to this, down to the calories, and then this is the breakdown of how you would structure your calories.
Okay.
Right? I would never recommend anybody like not doing any fat, or, just because they have a lot of body fat. I would change this number right here. Yeah.
And most people overeat on carbs and overeat on fat.
Yeah.
And you think you're having protein, and it comes to like 40 grams a day, where the first goal generally, if you're not eating a ton of protein, is to get to like maybe 100 grams of protein a day. And a lot of athletes do body weight. And so if you weigh 185, they're eating 185 grams of protein, which is very hard to get in there, and it has to do with every meal. And so, carbs are really accessible, fats are really dense, and food usually tastes good with carbs and fat. And so
protein's hard to get in.
Yeah, and so once you know your calories, things would change kind of based on how your body composition is changing, but then also like likely learning the fact that you're only eating 30 grams of protein a day, and we'll like adjust that way. And so, but yeah.
But to add to your point, like MyFitnessPal helps. Like you could also get like those kitchen scales. So there is a specific dish like that. So you could you could find out if you're having dal, you could just weigh that and then enter it.
Yeah, lentils have tons of protein in them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so to answer your question, there's other sources of protein. We think just like mostly meat and dairy, but you can do plant-based protein too. And one of the easiest cheats is to just do protein powder. At the end of the day, you're 30 grams under or whatnot, to hit your protein goal, you can do protein powder. I do it all the time. If you're in a bind and you don't have time to cook, that's something really easy you can do too. So MyFitnessPal, you can import recipes. So if you're making something, it's not going to be 100% accurate. It's basically going to take the recipe, divide it perfectly even into 8 servings. And then you might not know if you're getting exactly 1 serving. It might be 1.5. So there's some guesswork in there, but it's definitely going to be a better like ballpark figure than you not tracking it all. Does that make sense? So should I go over how to do the app, or?
Yeah, I'm like quick maybe, and then just
Okay.
kind of like have them build maybe
if
a
you
quick
have your phone,
breakfast.
go ahead and open up your phone, and if you haven't downloaded MyFitnessPal, go ahead and do that in your app store. I should probably grab mine so I can put it right back. Follow along.
Who's used MyFitnessPal before? Hands up. Okay, cool.
Well, I just downloaded it and set up a profile, so I guess I have.
Oh, cool. Cool. If you guys haven't and you have it open, go under like breakfast and maybe just search for eggs and add 2 eggs, or even like build out what you usually do for breakfast. And maybe, I mean, a lot of them here, Emily, actually have used it, and so maybe we do it at the end, but at least everyone has it downloaded. And then,
Okay.
and then if they've used it and like know how to do it, they can maybe go, and then we can kind of go over it a little bit more.
Well, yeah, because it will help you if you kind of go into and set your goals. If you don't know where to start and you put in your weight loss goal and your timeline of how you want to achieve that, it'll give you your daily caloric intake, and then you can program your macros too. So that takes all the guesswork out. So if you want to just follow that.
Maybe show them that actually.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
That's why I was like, I need to grab my phone. So if you go into MyFitnessPal, and like I said, when we're done with this, you guys can ask me questions and hit me up individually. But you're gonna go into, let's see here, hit more, and then you're gonna go to goals, right? It's only gonna go off of your weight. I'm not sure if the subscription does more detail, but you're gonna put in your current weight, and you're gonna put in your goal weight, right? Does everybody see that? Okay, weekly goal. This is gonna vary depending on your goal weight, but a good, healthy, steady weight loss goal is gonna be about 2 pounds per week. This will vary. Some people will be 1, some people maybe 3 to 5. It depends on how much weight you need to lose. But on average, let's say 2 pounds per week, or 3. And once you put that in, right? Mine's already in there, so I don't know if it's gonna automatically update it, but if you go to your nutrition goals, which is right below that, and click on nutrition goals, it should default your calories to what your daily calories are based on your goal. Does everybody see that? If you click, so it says calories and then macro goals, let's see here. So if you click on any one of the carbs, protein, or fat, it'll pull up a percentage list here. Sorry, this is really tiny. But you can change, obviously it has to equal 100, but you could change your macros. So if you're trying to get in 40% carbs, you know, you're gonna scroll 40, and then I'm gonna hit 40% protein, and then I'm gonna scroll back down 20% fat. I'm just gonna put that in for today. And then it will calculate, if you look next to your percentages, it's gonna tell you how many grams you get each day, okay? So that's basically based off of what is in my phone, right? It's telling me 40% is gonna be 161 grams of carbs, 161 grams of protein, and 36 grams of fat, which is really not that much. Question?
Question about managing daily macros. Let's say I have a day and I'm already over
40.
my macro for the day. Do I let it slide, just adjust next day, or like if I have a day where my macro, let's see, higher in fat?
So you accidentally blew the macros for the
Yeah, for the day it was a bad day. Do I adjust tomorrow somewhere, or do I just
No.
continue?
Start the day anew, focus on calories, right? So if you messed this up already, say you went out to brunch and you're like 50% fat for the day, okay? Do your best to get your protein in and your carbs, but ultimately try not to go way over on your calories. So I always tell people, plan ahead. If you know you're gonna go out, right? Maybe know what you're gonna eat when you're there. If you've never been there, try your best to choose wisely. But plan your day around that. So, you know, making sure maybe your meals are a little bit smaller so that you're conserving more of your calories for when you eat out. It's another thing I tell my clients is you don't want this unless you're a bodybuilder and you're gonna go compete and get on stage in a little tiny bikini. You know, you gotta live your life. You have to make this work into your daily life. So, you know, you want to be accountable to yourself, and you want to make sure you're tracking everything so you can be successful, but you also want to live life and have fun. We all go out to eat. I know Alex and Carrie go out to eat sometimes. You know, we try and make healthy choices when you go out to eat, but sometimes you won't, right? Maybe it's a birthday celebration and you're like, well, I'm gonna have 3 pieces of pizza, or I'm gonna have a burger and fries, and I'm already at 1,200 calories and my calories are 2,000 a day, right? So for me, if I know I'm gonna do that, yes, I'm probably gonna go over, but I'm gonna try and eat better during the day, knowing that I'm gonna go out to dinner, right? So that way I'm not going 1,000 calories over, right? Also, if you mess up a day, no big deal. Start over the next day. Don't throw out the entire week just because you screwed up one day, right? So do your best to get to this, ballpark it. It's not gonna be perfect. Almost everybody that I work with, it's very hard to get this exact. And once you do, unless you want to eat that exact meal or plan every single day, you're gonna have some variation, right? So just get close to this. It can be off 2 to 5%, and it probably will. But you know, you just want to get something close to your goal, and you want to be as close to your caloric goal as possible too. So if this goes out the window, focus on that for the day. Because ultimately, if your goal is going to be weight loss, that's the number that counts, right? Also, the food that you eat, calories are most important, but I never tell people, yeah, eat a bunch of junk food. Try and eat healthy. It's not going to kill you if you eat something unhealthy once in a while. But you know, obviously whole foods are going to be better for you. You're going to digest easier. You're going to feel better. Your energy is going to be better, right? So try and avoid chips or trigger foods, as I like to call them. I just don't buy them or keep them in my house, because I know once I go there, I'm gonna lose control, right? So everybody's got their trigger food. It's usually like a snack that you have on hand, either candy or chips, or, you know, I try not to have peanut butter. I buy powdered peanut butter now because it's not amazing, and I won't eat a ton of powdered peanut butter. I'll have enough to where I feel good, and I have it with my apple. But if I have a jar of peanut butter, I might just sit there and have 3 or 4, and that's like 800 calories and tons of fat, right? We talked about nuts last time, you know, if you like peanuts or mixed nuts or whatever, chips, that's a bad one, ice cream, all those things. It's not that you can't have them, but maybe you go out, have that once in a while versus keeping it at home. And I know we live with other people, and that's what kind of makes it hard, right? So if your family buys a lot of that stuff, you know, you just have to tell your family, I'm trying to watch my weight, and I'm trying to focus on my nutrition goals. And so, you know, if you guys can kind of keep that away from me, that would be great, right? Supportive.
Something to build off of Emily. There's lots of, I'll link some to Alex so he can share them in the Facebook group with everybody. But there's lots of recipes online. Like if you love mac and cheese, let's say, for example, that's like one of your favorite foods. There's tons of options to use, like cottage cheese and like Parmesan, and blend it together and turn it into something that actually has good protein and has good macros, and you're still eating something that is enjoyable. You don't necessarily every day have to eat a chicken breast, broccoli, and rice,
right?
Which is beneficial to an extent, but you know, don't think that going through this you don't get to enjoy eating things that maybe you did enjoy. You just have to switch them around a little bit, so that they taste good to you.
Yeah, Greek yogurt.
Yeah, Greek yogurt and blueberries, my favorite dessert of all time.
Yeah, it's good.
You guys, who here's done the in-body scan? Hands up, in-body scan. You guys are awesome. Okay, yeah, so the scale's like not your friend, okay? The in-body scan is, so that's like a scale. Doing CrossFit, we could be building muscle and losing fat and our weight's not changing, and then we're like frustrated, and then we go eat McDonald's because we're mad, right? And so don't focus on the actual scale as much. So do the scan more often, as one thing. And then Emily talked about whole foods. You know, whole foods are very healthy for us. Our body processes them more, and they're very healing. And so, like, you know, there's books about the Alzheimer's diet, and it's whole foods. There's all these diets to cure disease, cure cancer. It's like whole foods, and so you're cutting down fat and being healthier, but it's also like saving you from like major other diseases that pop up. I mean, all of us know someone in our lives that's had something, right? And so there's like, I mean, it's more than just like you want to get skinny or like healthier or leaner. It's like it's everything, and so it's like, so yeah.
I mean, we could be here for 2 hours. That's why I was telling Alex, like the last nutrition, or two nutrition seminars ago, was a lot longer. It was about an hour and delved more into depth in a lot of these things, which, like I said, we could be here all day talking about it, but I just want to give you guys tools to get started, and that will help you be successful. And, you know, picking whole foods, tracking your calories, keeping track of your macros, that's really gonna help you reach your goals.
Yeah, and me and Carrie will meet with you guys like for free for like 15 minutes here and there to do like consulting, you know. And so it's always great to take a approach of like trying to change one or two things at a time, or focus on one or two things, so that like we're not trying to focus on 10 things and failing at it, right? And so there's that as an option. Doing this challenge, like it's like open discussion. Now Emily does monthly nutrition consulting, and so it'll be a monthly fee, and you'll talk to her once a week, dialing things in, figuring out your actual calories, dialing in your macros, talking to her, being accountable. And so just like CrossFit classes, you aren't working out at your own home gym in your garage, because it's like accountability, right? And so it does help. Paying for something, being accountable, you usually have a lot better results. She's helped many members: Beth Bell, Chad Spadig, who else? Who else is like
me?
Elon, yeah.
Allison Norton.
And so like there's been tons of members, even like Beth Bell, if you guys know her. She was small, and she signed up because she wanted to get her whole family like linked in, and she lost 15 pounds, and we're all like, where did you lose it from?
Yeah.
But she looks great and like fit and like lean and cut and healthy and happy. And so the next two people to actually sign up with Emily will get 15% off. How much is it a month?
$199.
Yeah, so it is pricey, but it's personal coaching, right? And so essentially fit, you know, 4 different weeks, an hour call a week, $50 per hour. Personal trainers generally charge $80 per hour to like train and stuff, and so it's a great deal. 15% off the first two that actually want to join with her and do that. Just again as an option, because like information's great, but are we going to use it? And so you guys know yourselves. If you're like, I need accountability, I need to do this, there's that option, right? Otherwise, message us, ask us questions. You can ask any coach questions. Everyone knows a lot from their experience. But yeah, so just want you guys to also know about that. I didn't do a whole lot of posts. I try to keep like emails and stuff like kind of basic, but we have a web page on our website for Emily, just with kind of information. But you would contact her to use her for that. It'd be like a weekly call. You guys would find time, and with that weekly call, like just knowing, say it's on Friday at 3 p.m., you know it's coming. You're gonna make sure that you're like set up and like doing good and like have good news for her on the phone, and then can build off of that, right? Or else you might cancel it. And she just made $200 and you're avoiding her now. But it always does help to have a coach. Like baseball players have coaches, like business owners or anyone that's going through anything has like a therapist, like as a coach, right? And so just she is a tool for everybody.
Yeah. Helps with motivation, accountability, learning ways to, you know, move things around or make it work in your lifestyle, because everybody's different, everybody's busy and has different, you know, and that's my job, is try to make it work for you. So yeah.
I had a lot, so go ahead.
Well, I have specific question. I'm using different app and it asks me what is my lifestyle. Do I work out? Because I notice if I say I do work out, it adds calories, or should I say don't work out? Does it matter, kind of like?
Yeah, and we had, Yvonne and I noticed this when she was adding in, when you add in your exercise in MyFitnessPal, it automatically adds calories to your day. We don't want to do that. You can, I mean, you want to keep track of your fitness.
Or the
that's
goals,
great.
like the protein goal was so many grams, and
Right.
then it added in my workout, and then suddenly I was under my goal, and they said you need 30 more grams of protein. I was like, wait, what? No, I finally made it to my protein goal, and
Right.
kind of
That's-
skewed the numbers.
Yeah, that's one thing also I didn't get into this time around, but with the FitnessPal is it's great to keep track of your workouts, but if you do that, you're probably overestimating how many calories you burn, and it's going to change your calorie goal and your macro goal for the day, grams. And we don't want to do that, because that's going to make it really hard to lose that weight, because a lot of times we're going to be like, oh, I did CrossFit for an hour. Well, you didn't really move hard for 1 hour. You probably really only did about 20 to 30 minutes within that hour. So it's going to tell you you burned like 200 more calories than you actually did. So then you're still eating 200 calories over for the day. And then you're like, why am I not losing weight? And it's because the math isn't mathing. So it's better to just not put it in at all and just go off of your caloric goal for the day. You're gonna meet that goal and you're gonna add in your exercise, right?
There's a way to turn that off.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, the workout adding into the calories, there's like a setting. I don't remember where it is, but.
Well, I might have to go investigate that. Hopefully you don't have to do the subscription one to figure that out.
It might be the subscription.
Oh, really?
That might be bigger.
I mean, it actually asks you when you log in or when you do it for the first time, it asks you if you want to track the fitness on your phone. So,
Okay.
so you can
I've
just
had
set
mine for like 8 years, so I don't know if they changed that recently, but yeah, I can always, I'll see if I can figure out how to turn that off.
I have a question. So, so our meals should be like divided throughout the day, or the intermittent fasting actually helps burn more calories or something like that?
However you want.
Okay.
There's too much research, varying research that supports one or the other, neither or both. That it's all up to you. So if you like fasting and it works for you and you want to eat all your calories within an 8-hour window, awesome, do that. If you're one of the type of person who likes to break them up small meals over the course of the entire day, that's what makes you feel better, do that. So it's all up to you. Really, calories in, calories out. Where it works great for them, they don't like to eat late at night. I don't recommend it to most people because 1, you tend to overeat late at night, and 2, you're going to bed, your stomach's trying to digest, it really messes with your sleep, and lots of other things. So it's good to kind of cut that off at a certain point, like 3 hours before bed or whatever. But other than that, it's ultimately going to be that number. So you can follow all these rules and do intermittent fasting, but if you're eating 4,500 calories in 8 hours, doesn't matter that you did intermittent fasting, you just blew the whole day because you went way over on your calories, right?
Unless you ran a marathon.
Yeah.
Probably don't be eating that much.
In which case you better be if you're eating 4,500 calories. But
One thing I was going to add to what Emily was talking about, I did coaching with Emily back when I was like 17. And I was like a 6 foot tall, wispy kid that could not put on weight. And it was like the first time in my life realizing, oh, I actually need to eat a lot more than I thought I was. Obviously, people here maybe are here for the opposite reason. Maybe you're overeating. But one of the things that doing coaching with Emily is just like take an eye and look around your kitchen for things that maybe you are adding in and you're not thinking about it, like olive oil. Instead of just dumping the olive oil into the pan, get a little teaspoon or tablespoon so you can actually measure things out, because fat is so easy to go over on, especially when you're cooking things like a stir fry and you're just like, oh, I'll just add some oil. You're like, oh, there's X hundred amount of calories. So
Yeah, it's like 100 a tablespoon.
100 a tablespoon in oil. So
Yeah.
that was one of the things that helped me a lot.
Olive oil from Italy, so I'm trying to like put it on everything.
It's so good.
Yeah, I use sprays.
Yeah.
Sprays still, they say like it's 0 calories. It's not, because it's like if you hold it for a millisecond, it's like 0 calories. And it's like, okay, obviously everyone's gonna hold it for a little bit, so it's still gonna be significantly less. And you can actually get a sprayer pump to put your real oil in, and that controls.
I'm gonna put that on my list.
You can do that. But yeah, with that fat, because it packs so many calories in a gram, it is so easy to go way over on your calories just from fat. So, you know, through this process, you guys will all kind of learn, because you're tracking, about the food that you're actually eating, right? And it's great because then you're kind of like, okay, well now I need to plan my day ahead and I can make a better choice, because I know that these foods are all really high in fat and I need to get more of my protein in or more of my carbs in. So now I got to make a little bit less, or I've got to get a lot less fat in, because that's the sneaky one. It really does add up quickly. Even when you're eating a protein bar, like, ooh, I'm getting 20 grams of protein, and then you look at the fat content, and it's also adding, it'll be 10 grams of fat or more, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I blew all my fat for the day, so I guess I just get to eat chicken breast and rice.
Right.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, it'll be kind of eye-opening too, so it's good to just kind of know what you're eating and be more conscious about what you're eating too, so.
So anything you guys need, let us know. We're gonna wrap it up. If you have more questions, hang out, ask us. But we're gonna end this now. Let's give Emily a round of applause. Thank you.